You are not alone, finding strength in our deep connection. Do you ever feel small? Sometimes maybe late at night, or when facing a big challenge, or even just lost in the hustle of daily life, we can feel incredibly isolated, like we're just one tiny person navigating a vast, complex, and sometimes indifferent world. Our own problems, our worries, our fears can loom so large in our minds that they seem like the only reality. We get caught in the bubble of me, my struggles, my goals, my anxieties. It's a natural human tendency, this focus on the self, but it can also be a lonely and often overwhelming place to live. We can feel adrift, disconnected, solely responsible for carrying the weight of our own existence. But what if we could gently shift our perspective? What if we could learn to consciously zoom out from that tight focus on our individual selves and see the much, much bigger picture we are all intrinsically part of? Imagine pulling back like a camera ascending high above. First, you see yourself within your home, then your street, your neighborhood, perhaps a vibrant city full of life like Cebu, or countless others across the globe. Keep pulling back and you see the whole island, the archipelago, the continent, the entire beautiful blue planet spinning in the vastness of space. Pull back even further and you see our solar system, our galaxy, and the seemingly infinite expanse of the universe stretching out beyond comprehension. What happens when we take this wider view? Often two things occur. First, our own personal problems, while still real and needing attention, tend to shrink in relative size. Placed against the backdrop of immense time and space, the things that felt all-consuming might regain a more manageable perspective. The urgency might lessen, the panic might subside slightly. We get a little breathing room. Second, and perhaps more profoundly, we start to see not just separation, but connection. We see that we are not isolated dots, but intricate parts of a vast, interconnected web. Start with humanity. Look closely at the people around you, those you love, those you know casually, even those you find difficult or consider strangers. Beneath the surface, differences in appearance, background, beliefs, or circumstances, what do we find? We find shared fundamentals. Every single person experiences joy and sorrow. Everyone knows hope and fear. Everyone seeks connection, understanding, and a sense of purpose. Everyone feels physical pain, experiences loss, and ultimately shares the same fate. We all need air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat, shelter, and some form of community to thrive. We are variations on a theme, expressions of the same fundamental human consciousness. The person you pass on the street, the person on the news from halfway around the world, their inner life, their capacity for feeling is fundamentally like yours. Recognizing this deep, shared humanity is the foundation of empathy. When we truly see the us in them, it becomes harder to judge, easier to understand, and more natural to feel compassion. But the connection doesn't stop there. Zoom out further, beyond just our species. We are deeply interwoven with the natural world. The air we breathe is cycled through plants. The water we drink flows through rivers and oceans. The food we eat comes from the earth. We are part of the planet's intricate ecosystem, not separate from it or masters of it. Spending time in nature, feeling the sun on our skin, listening to the rhythm of the waves, walking amongst ancient trees, observing the intricate lives of insects or birds can powerfully remind us of this belonging. We are earthlings made of the same elements as the stars, participating in the same grand cycles of life, growth, decay, and renewal that govern everything on this planet. Feeling this connection can bring a sense of grounding, peace, and belonging that transcends our personal anxieties. We are part of something much larger, older, and more enduring than our individual lives. What are the practical implications of truly feeling this interconnectedness, this sympathia, as some ancient thinkers called it? The effects can be transformative. Firstly, it cultivates deep compassion. When we see ourselves in others, understanding their struggles as reflections of our own potential struggles, genuine empathy arises. We become less quick to anger, less prone to harsh judgment. We recognize that people's actions often stem from their own pain, fear, or conditioning. This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior, but it allows us to respond with more wisdom and less reactive hostility. We start to treat others as we would wish to be treated, not just as a moral rule, but because we recognize our shared essence. Secondly, it fosters cooperation and a sense of shared responsibility. If we are all connected, then the well-being of the whole is intrinsically linked to our own well-being. The idea of purely selfish success becomes less appealing, even illogical. We realize that thriving happens together, supporting our community, caring for our environment, working towards common goals. These actions stem naturally from recognizing our interdependence. We understand that contributing positively to the web, strengthening its threads, ultimately benefits everyone, including ourselves. It encourages us to think beyond narrow self-interest and consider the greater good. Thirdly, it helps reduce the tyranny of the ego. When we see ourselves as part of a vast, interconnected whole, our personal dramas, desires, and grievances tend to lose some of their inflated importance. The ego, that part of us focused on me, myself, and I, shrinks down to a more appropriate size. We become less preoccupied with petty slights, less obsessed with personal status or recognition, and more able to laugh at our own foibles. This doesn't mean self-neglect, but rather a healthier perspective on our place in the grand scheme of things. It brings humility and frees up enormous energy previously spent on defending or promoting the isolated self. Fourthly, it can provide a profound sense of purpose and belonging. Instead of feeling like isolated individuals striving alone, we can find meaning in playing our part, however small, within the larger tapestry. Our purpose might be found in contributing to our family, our community, our work, or the health of the planet, understanding that these contributions ripple outwards through the interconnected web. Knowing we are part of something bigger than ourselves provides an anchor, a sense of belonging that can weather personal storms. How can we actively cultivate this feeling of interconnectedness in our daily lives? It doesn't always happen automatically. It often requires conscious practice. Practice empathy. Make a conscious effort to imagine the perspectives and feelings of others, especially those different from you or those you find challenging. Ask yourself, what might they be going through? Spend time in nature. Regularly immerse yourself in natural environments and consciously notice the intricate connections, how plants, animals, weather, and earth interact. Feel yourself as part of that system. Reflect on shared humanity. When interacting with people, consciously look for common ground, shared emotions, and universal human experiences beneath the surface differences. Read diverse perspectives. Engage with stories, literature, and news from different cultures and backgrounds to broaden your understanding of the human experience. Engage in acts of service. Helping others, contributing to your community, or working for a cause larger than yourself directly reinforces the feeling of connection and shared purpose. Mindfulness in contemplation. Practices like meditation can help quiet the ego's chatter and allow a felt sense of connection to arise more naturally. Contemplate the origins of everyday objects, the food you eat, the clothes you wear, tracing them back through countless hands and natural processes. Embracing this perspective of deep interconnectedness isn't about losing our individuality. It's about understanding that our individuality finds its true meaning and richness within the context of the whole. It's a shift from feeling like a lonely island to realizing we are part of a vast, intricate, and supportive continent. This understanding offers a profound antidote to the anxiety, loneliness, and overwhelm that can often plague our modern lives. It reminds us that we are not alone, that we belong to something immense and meaningful. It calls us to live with greater compassion, cooperation, and a lighter sense of self. It invites us to find peace not by isolating ourselves, but by recognizing and celebrating our fundamental unity with all of life. May you feel that connection today, and may it bring you strength, perspective, and a deep sense of belonging to this incredible, interconnected world.